Kat, do you remember the first time we met?
Absolutely. I remember every moment of it because we'd only spoken on the phone a couple of times beforehand, talking about the job that I was doing and you were taking over. But I just remember when we first met, um, I came into work a little early, you came in a little early, and I just saw you and I said, "Well, you must be Helen." And you went, "Well, you must be Catherine." And we just hugged each other. It was just that, I don't know, it was just like we knew each other, and we just worked so well together. And I just don't ever remember a time when you weren't my best friend. It was
Right.
almost from that moment.
Yeah, right. I remember that too. And
Yeah.
I think the other thing too that was not 98, wasn't it?
Yeah, yep,
1998.
98.
Yeah, wow. Gosh, that's a long time. Um, and I know that when I met you, I was like nervous because it was brand new job and
Hmm.
it was a big job, and that I didn't have a lot of training in particularly, but you did.
Hmm.
And so I was so grateful. You were so generous with really supporting me as I got started in that role. It was amazing.
Oh, it taught you all about the joy of reconciliation, huh? That was
Exactly.
fun. That was fun.
Exactly.
So Helen, where did you come up with the idea for preparing the way?
Yeah, look, that was back about 9 years ago now. As you know,
Mm,
remember, I was looking after mum for
hmm
7 years with dementia, and got really present to the gaps,
mm,
in caregiver support actually.
mm,
And when mum finally went into residential care and subsequently died, I was 55. I'd been doing
mm,
this for 7 years. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do with the rest of my life?
mm,
Where do I
mm,
go now? And really, having been a natural therapist for years previous to that, having been in education for years
mm,
previous to that, and also having been worked with so many people who were very ill, terminally ill, and
mm,
dying through my work as a natural therapist,
mm,
I had all of these skills and all of this thing, and really it was about, what, I want to do something with this. I want to
mm,
be able to share this with people. So I spoke to a mutual colleague and friend, Gunal, and said, you want to come work on a big project with me? Let's
mm.
go design some end of life doula training, and that was where it all began back in 2014. Yeah.
Well, and I think I remember too, there were times that you did it really tough with your mum, and there were gaps that you could not get the support. And I remember when you first talked about dueling, it's like, wow, this is something that you could have done with that would have made
Yeah.
your life that much easier.
Oh, a
You
hundred
know.
percent. Because I
Mm,
think so
mm.
many people, we do it alone,
Yeah, yeah.
or we have family support, and that's great
Mm, mm,
sometimes. And there might be some community support,
mm,
but boy, the gaps are huge. And
mm, mm.
doulas being non-medical and non-clinical can step straight in there, and
Yes,
support
yes.
people. Yeah. And then if we fast forward, so that was 2014, and then
Hmm.
you started in 2020, right?
I
Just
did.
yeah. So what was it that had you come on board? I know I talked, I'd been after you for years.
Well, I had sort of been along the journey. I remember I sort of was the production crew for your first pilot
That's right.
back in, I don't know, 2015, I think it was. And so I was fascinated with what you were doing. I had a sort of responsible senior role in health at the time, so I was content doing that. But I was very interested in what you were doing all the way along. So, COVID coming along made changes for many people in their lives, and I was free to look at other jobs, and what was coming up for you was the Cert 4.
That's
Because
right.
COVID gave you some time to do that. That was a blessing for preparing the way that many didn't have that opportunity. Um, so yes, I think I said, look, I'm not doing anything particular at the moment. what could I do? And you said, well, we need a survey done to see if people will pick up the Cert 4. So I got into that and I absolutely loved it. And it just seemed to be a natural progression then, you know. And hey, you were running your accounts off a spreadsheet. I mean, really.
Yeah,
So it was
dinky
just,
spreadsheet at best,
yeah,
right?
it didn't actually balance. It didn't.
Don't tell too many secrets.
No, well, it did by the time I finished with it. But yeah,
Exactly.
you know, it was just like a natural progression to see that you had your particular skill set, which was about you're training people, you're talking to people, you're advocating. You're great with getting out there with people. I'm kind of a little, not little. I'm a backroom kind of person. I like the admin. I like the processes. I like keeping things in order. And so it was almost like a perfect skill set for you to get on with what you needed to do, and I could look after the business from that perspective. So I think all of those things just gave the opportunity for preparing the way to start growing. And
Yeah.
you'd already had people already on working with you, starting to look at developing the Cert 4. So it was a perfect timing, as always with us, as
Yeah,
always.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would you say are the biggest changes you've seen between, from when you've started? So, which is you're in
Yeah.
your third year now, right?
Yes, yes. Well, we've certainly grown as a team, and we needed to do that. You know, we're doing more foundation workshops and intensive courses than we had back then. Um, but we've had the team to get the Cert 4 up and running, and that's made a big difference. So now you have a team of trainers and other developers that you're working with. I have the admin team and finance team. We've also got marketing now. We didn't have that. We really didn't know anything about marketing, did we? But also, I think what I love is the culture that we've developed as a team. You know, we have our set of values, and it's all very. We're from the heart. We are family, and we really look after, and we doula each other, and we doula the business. So I would say having that at our core is what makes us work so much as a team and allows us to pivot when we need to pivot. Yeah, during COVID, we had to do that a number of times where we couldn't get together with people. So yeah, I would say that's the biggest thing is that we've got a team who are committed, who are intelligent, who are all fabulous doulas in our own way. We've all got our own speciality, but we all have that doula heart.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I
Mm.
think one of the things that I think is a great testament to that is how our team is geographically diverse,
Yes,
right? That we've
yes,
got someone in New Zealand, we've got South Australia, ACT, Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland,
Queensland.
and that's where our team are. And pretty
Yeah.
much everything we do is on Zoom. We rarely
Yes,
get to see each other, and yet
yes,
there's this extraordinary cohesion
yes, it
in
is.
the team, which is such a gift. I think that one of the biggest things I've seen that change since you being here is, as you said, number one, it's been like a relief for me
Mm, mm,
because one of the things I've learned, I'm a doula. That's
mm.
who I am, and I love teaching. That's a passion of mine, education. So, but running this business, there's so many things I don't know. And so you coming in with your accounting background
Mm.
and that strong admin background, oh, I can't tell you the relief that I could get on with what I do well rather than trying to do everything on my dinky spreadsheet that didn't balance.
Yeah, and you know, I think that's one of the things that makes us work really well, and why our friendship works. That there are at least three or four people that I know of who said when we were first going into business together, who said, "You'll have arguments. How are you going to deal with the arguments?" And we just said, "No, that won't happen." And it's true because I think we know each other so well that we know when one's off, one's down, and we can address that or leave it for the time being. You know, we just know each other well. But I think also we're actually committed to the same thing. We're both absolutely committed to that people have a whole different experience at end of life, that we see it can be a time of growth and emotional growth, spiritual growth. It can be a magic time for everyone involved. And I just love working in that environment. Yeah, I don't always know what I'm doing. I find that really confronting. Yeah, that's one of my things that I find such a challenge. I like knowing what I'm doing, but I think in the doula world, that's the unknown is just part of the course, and so we are all able to get through, learn along the way, give each other space to learn, and I think that's just great. I love that about our friendship.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's it. We're so different and yet so complementary.
Yeah, exactly.
Mutual little love society. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. We know how to share the talking stick too.